You are born into a lineage, a tapestry woven from the threads of triumph and tragedy, love and loss, wisdom and wounds. Your family's history is a powerful force, an invisible current shaping the course of your life in ways both seen and unseen. The echoes of their stories reverberate within you, in your fears, your beliefs, your habits, your identity. But here is the profound truth that breaks chains and shatters illusions. Your family's history does not have to be your future. The past, with all its weight and complexity, is not a prison, but a classroom. It teaches, it warns, it prepares, yet it does not dictate. Nietzsche called this the eternal return, the endless cycle of patterns repeating across time. Yet within this cycle lies the possibility of disruption, the chance to become the break, the anomaly, the new beginning. This is your moment to seize that power. Within the shadows of inherited pain and limitation lies the potential for unprecedented growth and freedom. Carl Jung revealed to us the depths of the unconscious mind, where the collective wounds of generations reside. These ancestral scars often manifest as fears, compulsions, and behaviors passed silently from parent to child. To break free, you must venture inward into the labyrinth of your psyche and face these shadows without flinching. Cyphoria, that tumultuous inner storm of emotion and confusion, is not your enemy, but the signal of transformation. When the tides of your inherited pain rise, do not run. Stand firm. The chaos within is the forging fire of your rebirth. It strips away the illusions, the false narratives, and reveals the raw, unvarnished truth of your being. Your mindset is your first line of defense and the foundation of your liberation. It is the lens through which you perceive reality, and it can be your greatest ally or your fiercest adversary. Choose a mindset of radical possibility. Choose belief in your capacity to transcend history. Choose clarity over confusion. When your mind is clear, the path forward is illuminated by the light of self-awareness and courage. Belief is the heartbeat of change. Without it, vision fades and purpose dissolves. But with unwavering belief, you harness the power to rewrite the stories embedded deep within your cells. You become the author of your own narrative, no longer a character trapped by the scripts written before you. Clarity cuts through the fog of inherited confusion. It is the discipline to ask hard questions. Which parts of my family's history serve me? Which parts hold me captive? Clarity demands honesty about your fears, your patterns, your limits. But in its ruthless illumination lies the possibility of freedom. Vision becomes the compass by which you navigate the uncertain waters of transformation. It is not a naive wish, but a fierce, deliberate imagining of the life you refuse to leave to chance or lineage. Your vision is a call to action, a declaration that you will no longer be defined by the past. Purpose fuels this vision. It anchors you when doubt creeps in, when the tides of old habits threaten to pull you under. Your purpose is the fire that keeps you burning when the world tries to extinguish your light. Discipline is the hammer that shapes the raw stone of your will. It is the quiet, relentless practice of choosing growth over comfort, action over inertia, truth over denial. Discipline carves a path through resistance and builds the habits that sustain your transformation. Action breathes life into your vision. It is not enough to dream, you must do. Every step forward, no matter how small, dismantles the old narratives and constructs the new reality. Action is your rebellion against the deterministic chains of ancestry. Gratitude transforms your journey from burden to blessing. It is the recognition that every struggle, every wound has taught you something vital about strength and survival. Gratitude opens your heart to the possibility that the very history you seek to transcend is also the source of your resilience. Adaptability is your grace under pressure. Change is unpredictable, and healing is non-linear. Being adaptable allows you to flow with life's currents without losing sight of your destination. Resilience is the backbone of transformation. It is the capacity to rise after every fall, to learn from every failure, to endure every storm. Resilience turns pain into power. Learning is the lifelong commitment to understanding yourself and your history. It is the willingness to dive deeper, to question harder, to grow wiser. Your family's history does not have to be your future. The patterns passed down through generations can be broken, the wounds can be healed, and the legacy can be transformed. You hold within you the power to disrupt the cycle, to forge a new path, to become the architect of your own destiny. This is not mere hope. It is a call to action. The chains of the past are heavy, but your resolve is heavier. The shadows of your lineage are long, but your light is longer. Step forward with courage. Face your shadows with honesty. Embrace your power with humility. Rewrite your story with intention. Because the future is not written in the stars, it is written in your choices, your actions, your will. Your family's history does not have to be your future. You are the author now. You are the architect. Begin building. The moment you realize this truth, everything shifts. The weight that once pressed upon your shoulders begins to lift, not because the past has changed, but because your relationship to it has. You understand that the stories you carry are just that, stories. Narratives told and retold, often unconsciously, that shaped your perception of what is possible and who you are. But stories can be rewritten. Like Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, you are called to transcend the limitations imposed by inherited suffering, to become more than a product of your environment, more than a sum of past mistakes and unhealed wounds. This is not a simple task. It is a grand challenge of self-mastery, facing the shadow within and refusing to be controlled by it. Your psyche is a battlefield where old patterns battle for survival against your emerging self-awareness. Cyphoria, the turmoil of the soul, may rage within, yet it signals that transformation is underway. This discomfort is necessary. It is the storm before the calm, the breaking of the old to make way for the new. Your mindset is the fortress from which you wage this inner war. Cultivate a mindset that is not reactive, but proactive, not victimized, but victorious. Believe deeply in your capacity to change the course of your life. This belief is the spark that ignites the fires of transformation. With clarity, you cut through the fog of confusion and inherited illusions. You see the roots of your fears, the source of your limiting beliefs. Clarity is the surgeon's scalpel, precise and unyielding, exposing what must be released. Vision is your beacon. It is the vivid picture of the life you choose to create, a life defined not by the shadows of your family's past, but by the light of your own making. Hold this vision tightly, for it will guide you through the darkest valleys. Purpose is the fuel that sustains you when the journey grows arduous. It connects you to something greater than yourself, a reason to endure, to strive, to overcome. Discipline is the hammer and chisel, the daily grind of aligning your actions with your vision. It demands sacrifice, focus, and unwavering commitment. But it is through discipline that the invisible becomes visible, the dream becomes reality. Action transforms intention into existence. Each step forward, no matter how small, dismantles the chains of the past. Your actions are declarations of freedom, statements that you will no longer be bound. Gratitude softens the heart and expands the soul. It is the alchemy that turns pain into wisdom and loss into learning. Adaptability ensures you remain flexible in the face of life's unpredictability. The path may twist and turn, but your vision remains steadfast. Resilience is the backbone of your transformation. It is the ability to rise again and again, stronger and wiser with each fall. Learning is your lifelong companion on this journey. Seek knowledge relentlessly about yourself, your family, and the patterns that bind you. Knowledge is power, and power is freedom. Your family's history is not your destiny. It is the soil from which you grow, not the limits of your existence. You have the power to uproot the weeds of old wounds and plant seeds of healing, strength, and love. This is your revolution, your transformation, your rebirth. Step into your power. Rewrite your story. Build a future unbound by the past. You are not your history. You are the architect of your destiny. Begin now. Build boldly. The journey to rewrite your story begins with a single step inward towards self-awareness and acceptance. It demands confronting the uncomfortable truths buried deep within your family's narrative and within your own soul. But it also promises liberation, the kind of freedom that no external circumstance can take away. In this moment, the choice is yours: to remain tethered to the shadows of your lineage, or to rise above them with fierce determination and grace. The road will not be easy. Old patterns will call to you. Familiar fears will whisper doubts, and moments of weakness will tempt retreat. Yet within you lies a wellspring of strength, born from the very struggles you seek to transcend. Your mindset will be your shield and your sword. Cultivate it with intention, filling your mind with thoughts of possibility and power. Believe not just in change, but in transformation, a complete rebirth of identity and purpose. Clarity will sharpen your focus. It will strip away the noise and distractions, revealing the core of what truly matters. It will illuminate the path ahead, even when the journey feels uncertain. Your vision will be your compass, guiding you through uncharted territory. It will be the picture of the life you refuse to leave to chance or inheritance, a life shaped by your choices, your values, and your courage. Purpose will anchor you, giving meaning to each step, each struggle, each victory. It is the heartbeat of your transformation, the fire that burns through doubt and despair. Discipline will carry you forward, day by day, habit by habit. It is the quiet force that turns dreams into reality, that transforms potential into power. Action will breathe life into your vision. Without it, clarity and purpose remain abstract. With it, your future takes form, brick by brick. Gratitude will soften your journey, reminding you to honor your progress, your resilience, and the lessons learned along the way. Adaptability will allow you to flow with life's inevitable changes, keeping your vision alive even when the path twists unexpectedly. Resilience will be your backbone, the unyielding strength that rises after every fall, grows wiser with every challenge, and never surrenders. Learning will be your lifelong companion, equipping you with the knowledge and insight needed to navigate the complexities of healing and growth. Your family's history is a story written before you arrived, but your future is a blank page waiting for your hand to write it. The power to change, to heal, and to transform is in your hands. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are the author of your future. You are the architect of your destiny. Begin now. Build boldly, live fully. The moment you claim this truth, a profound shift occurs within you. No longer are you a passive vessel carrying the weight of generations gone by. You become an active creator, wielding the power to sculpt your own life. This is not an act of rebellion against your past, but a conscious embrace of your agency over what comes next. You'll find that the legacy you carry is complex, woven with threads of pain and love, failure and resilience, shadow and light. To honor your history without being enslaved by it requires courage. It demands that you face your inherited wounds head on, not to be consumed by them, but to transform them into sources of strength. Every thought you nurture, every belief you hold, every choice you make is a stone laid in the foundation of your new legacy. Your mindset is the blueprint that dictates what you build. Will you construct walls of limitation or bridges of possibility? Will your vision be clouded by doubt or sharpened by clarity? Purpose fuels your hands to labor. Discipline steadies them, and action breathes life into your creation. Each small step waking earlier, choosing kindness, setting boundaries, Seeking knowledge is an act of defiance against the deterministic pull of your past. Gratitude reminds you to appreciate the journey, even the struggles. It transforms obstacles into teachers and loss into lessons. Adaptability allows you to navigate the unpredictable currents of life without losing sight of your vision. Resilience keeps you anchored when the storm threatens to uproot you. Learning unlocks the doors to understand about yourself, your family, and the patterns that sought to define you. With each insight, you reclaim power. With each breakthrough, you rewrite the story. This transformation is the alchemy of the soul. It is the sacred labor of breaking chains and building wings. You were not born to repeat the echoes of the past, but to sing a new song of healing, freedom, and boundless possibility. Your family's history does not have to be your future. The pen is in your hand. The canvas is blank. The time to create is now. Build your life with intention. Live your truth with courage. Become the masterpiece you were always meant to be. You will realize that healing is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding, a dance between light and shadow, strength and vulnerability, pain and growth. Each day offers a new canvas, each choice a brushstroke, painting a picture not dictated by history, but inspired by your courage to change. Embrace the complexity of your lineage, the beauty and the brokenness, the love and the wounds. In doing so, you cultivate compassion for yourself and others, understanding that no one is perfect and every soul carries its own battles. Your story becomes a beacon, a testament to the power of transformation. It proves that the past does not define you and that freedom is born in the conscious choice to respond differently. Stand firm in this truth. Walk boldly in your power, and know that every step you take toward healing is a step toward liberation for yourself and for the generations yet to come. You are not your family's history. You are the author of your own future. You are the architect of your destiny. Begin now. Create boldly. Live fully. The path ahead is not without challenge, but it is filled with promise. You will face moments when old fears resurface, when the familiar patterns beckon you back into the shadows. Yet, each time, remember that your response holds the power to transform. With every conscious choice, you reclaim your freedom and redefine your story. This journey is a creative dance between surrender and strength, pain and healing. It calls you to show up fully, to embrace your imperfections, and to live authentically. It invites you to rewrite not just your own fate, but to illuminate the way for those who follow. Your family's history may have shaped the soil beneath your feet, but you alone decide what grows from it. Will you cultivate seeds of fear or flowers of courage? Will you harvest the echoes of old wounds or plant new legacies of love and resilience? You hold the pen. You hold the power. Write a story of healing. Paint a future of hope. Build a life of purpose. Because your family's history does not have to be your future. Your destiny begins now. Step boldly into it. Create without fear. Live without limits. In this moment, understand that every choice you make reverberates beyond yourself. Your courage to heal breaks chains not only for you, but for those who come after, children, grandchildren, generations yet unborn. You become the turning point in a lineage that has known suffering, the catalyst for a future shaped by possibility instead of pain. Know that healing is a mosaic collection of small victories, moments of grace, and acts of self-love pieced together over time. It is the gentle forgiveness extended toward yourself and others. It is the willingness to release grudges and embrace freedom. It is the quiet strength to keep moving forward when the path is unclear. Your family's history is a chapter, not your whole book. The pages ahead are blank, waiting for your pen to write stories of resilience, compassion, and transformation. With every breath, you craft a new legacy not defined by wounds, but by the healing and wisdom you carry. So, rise, fully aware of your power and purpose. Walk forward with intention, clarity, and love. Your future is not a shadow of the past, but a radiant light born of your choices. You are not bound by what came before. You are the architect of what comes next. Begin building your new legacy today. And know this: the journey you start is the greatest gift you will ever give to yourself and to all who will follow in your footsteps. The journey you undertake now is the most profound act of rebellion and creation. Rebellion against the cycles that sought to define you, and a creation of a life that honors your highest self. It is the sacred work of transforming inherited pain into profound strength, confusion into clarity, and limitation into limitless possibility. Each step you take toward healing echoes through the corridors of time, rewriting the narrative not only for yourself, but for the generations to come. You become the architect of a new lineage built on awareness, compassion, resilience, and love. Remember, the weight of your family's history is not your burden to carry alone. You are surrounded by invisible allies, those who came before you, whose struggles paved the way, and those who will follow, who will inherit the legacy you choose to create. With every conscious choice, you plant seeds of transformation. With every act of self-love, you water the roots of freedom. With every moment of forgiveness, you clear the path for peace. This is your power. This is your legacy. Step into your role as healer and creator. Embrace the fullness of your story, knowing that within it lies the potential for extraordinary transformation. Your family's history does not have to be your future. You are the one who holds the key. Unlock your freedom. Build your destiny. Live your truth. Begin now. And now, as you stand at the threshold of choice, remember this: you are not bound by your past, nor limited by what has come before. You have the power to change the story, to build the future on your own terms. Your family may have shaped who you are, but it cannot decide who you will become. You are not a copy of the past, you are the architect of your future. Every step you take today is a solid brick laid in the foundation of a life of freedom, fulfillment, and meaning. Have the courage to step out of the shadows of old wounds and into the light of healing and rebirth. Love yourself with patience and compassion. This is the path to true freedom. You may not be able to change your family's history, but you can change how you respond to it, and that change will open the door to a brighter future for yourself and those you love. Seize that power, live fully in your truth, and become the creator of the life you deserve. Your future begins with you. Start building today. From the moment you were born, the world began crafting expectations around you. You didn't ask for them. You didn't choose them, but they were placed on your shoulders like a heavy cloak, a cloak that is woven with others' ideas, their beliefs, their fears. They will tell you how to act, what to believe, who to be. And they will say that if you don't fit into their mold, you are somehow less than. But here's the truth. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Not to the world, not to your parents, not to your peers, not to the strangers who will never truly understand you. You came into this world as a unique being, an individual with your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own story, and yet the world wants you to conform. It wants you to shrink yourself to fit into a predefined space, to follow a linear path that's been drawn out for you, and to color inside the lines. But that's not who you are. You are a masterpiece, an untamed force of nature, and you were never meant to fit inside someone else's box. You were meant to rise, to expand, to live a life that is uniquely yours. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You need to be yourself. The relentless pressure to prove your worth can be suffocating. It wears on your soul, stirs doubt in your heart, and causes you to question your very existence. Why is it that we are so conditioned to feel like we have to show the world our worth? Why is it that our self-esteem is tied to others' opinions, their judgments, and their approval? It's because we've been taught from a young age that value is external, that who we are depends on how others perceive us. But the truth is, your worth is not defined by anyone other than yourself. Your value is inherent. It has always been there. And it will never be measured by the fleeting opinions of others. Imagine a world where you didn't feel the need to constantly prove yourself, where you woke up every day not with the fear of judgment looming over you, but with the pure freedom of simply being who you are, where every decision you made, every word you spoke, and every action you took was based on the truth of your soul, not on the expectations of the world. That is the power of knowing yourself. That is the freedom of stepping into your authenticity. But to get there, you must first ask yourself, why do you feel the need to prove anything? Is it because you believe that in some way you are not enough? Is it because you've been conditioned to seek validation in a world that thrives on comparison? If so, it's time to break free from this trap. It's time to stop living for others and start living for yourself. The real power comes from within. It comes from the deep well of self-awareness, from understanding who you are without the distortion of outside influences. When you stop trying to prove yourself, something incredible happens. You give yourself permission to be yourself. You stop performing. You stop pretending. You stop bending to the will of others. And in doing so, you reclaim the power that has always been yours. The power to choose your path, the power to express your truth, and the power to live authentically. This is the first step toward true freedom. Think of all the energy you've wasted over the years trying to meet expectations that weren't even yours to begin with. Think of all the moments you've held back, silenced your voice, or dimmed your light in order to fit in. What would your life look like if you didn't do that anymore? What would it feel like to step fully into your power, not as a version of yourself that others have created, but as the raw, unfiltered version of who you truly are? You are not meant to hide. You are meant to shine. And in that shining, you give others permission to do the same. But to shine in this way requires you to let go. Let go of the idea that you have to be someone else to be accepted. Let go of the need to seek approval from people who will never see you for who you truly are. Let go of the belief that your worth is tied to external accomplishments. Your worth is inherent, unshakable, and irreplaceable. It is not tied to your job, your possessions, or the approval of others. It is tied to the truth of who you are at the deepest level. You may ask, but what if I fail? What if being myself means rejection? What if I'm not accepted? These are natural fears. The fear of rejection is one of the most primal fears we carry as humans. But rejection is not the end of your story. It is simply a sign that you are no longer playing by someone else's rules. The moment you embrace who you truly are, you will no longer fear rejection. You will understand that the people who matter, the ones who will walk with you on your journey, will be the ones who see you, not the mask you've been wearing, but the real you. And when those people show up in your life, it will feel like home. It will feel like truth. The world will always try to impose its standards. It will tell you who to love, how to work, how to live, and even how to think. But the woman or man who knows their worth does not conform. They recognize the illusion for what it is. The opinions, the judgments, the expectations, they are all just noise. What matters is the truth of who you are. The world cannot define you. Only you can define yourself. To be yourself is an act of defiance. It's a rebellion against a system that wants to make you small, that wants to put you in a box and label you. But when you stand tall in your truth, when you refuse to bend or shrink, you become an unstoppable force. You become a beacon for others. And this is where your true power lies, in your authenticity, in your willingness to be unapologetically you, in your courage to live the life that is true to your soul. You will face resistance. There will be those who don't understand, those who feel threatened by your authenticity. But their resistance is not your concern. You are not here to please them. You are here to please yourself. You are here to align with the highest version of yourself. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you give yourself the freedom to become who you were always meant to be. This freedom comes with its own responsibility. It requires self-discipline, focus, and unwavering commitment to your own growth. The person who stops seeking validation is not someone who lives carelessly. No, they live with purpose. They live with intention. They live with the knowing that their time here is limited and every moment is an opportunity to be more aligned with their true self. They embrace the responsibility of their own worth. They no longer look to the outside world to tell them who they are. They already know. And it is this inner knowing that gives them the power to move through the world with grace, with clarity, and with unwavering strength. So, the next time you feel the pull to prove yourself, to seek approval, to fit into a mold that was never made for you, remember this: you don't need to prove yourself. You need to be yourself. And in that being, in that pure expression of your truth, you will find the freedom you've been searching for all along. You will find your purpose. You will find your peace. You will find your power. Because the moment you stop performing for the world, you begin living for yourself. And that, my friend, is when everything truly changes. As you begin to embrace this truth, a transformation will take place. It will be gradual at first, a subtle shift in the way you move through the world, but over time it will become undeniable. You will feel the weight of the mask you've been wearing fall away piece by piece until there is nothing left but the raw, untamed version of you, the version that was always meant to exist. This version doesn't hide. This version doesn't apologize for its existence. It stands tall, unashamed, and unapologetic in its brilliance. The more you step into your authenticity, the more you will see the world reflect back to you what you already know deep inside, that you are enough. Not because of what you do, not because of what you own, not because of the approval you receive. You are enough simply because you exist. Your worth is not defined by external validation. It is woven into the very fabric of your being. When you stop searching for approval, the universe begins to give you the very things you need to thrive. You are not seeking the world's approval, you are aligning with your own power. And in doing so, the world will be forced to acknowledge it. This is not some fleeting, shallow confidence. This is not the kind of confidence that comes from dressing up for the world, putting on a smile, and pretending that everything is okay. This is a deep, unshakable knowing. It is a self-assurance that comes from being rooted in the truth of who you are, from knowing that your worth does not fluctuate based on the opinions of others, the achievements you accumulate, or the successes you've yet to experience. Your worth is constant. It is timeless. It is yours, and it cannot be taken away. When you finally stop trying to prove yourself, you unlock a power that has always been within you. This power is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not need to be seen or acknowledged by others. It simply exists, radiating outward in the way you carry yourself, in the way you walk through life. And it is this quiet, undeniable power that commands respect. Not because you are trying to control anyone, but because you have learned to control yourself. You no longer bend to the whims of others. You no longer seek their approval. And you no longer measure your worth based on how they perceive you. You are free. Freedom is the ultimate reward. And yet, this freedom is not something that is handed to you. It is something you must claim for yourself. The freedom to be yourself is not something that will simply show up in your life. You must choose it. You must make the decision every day to live for yourself, to let go of the need to impress others, and to stop running on the treadmill of external validation. You must make the choice to stand firm in your truth, knowing that when you are in alignment with your own authenticity, everything you need will fall into place. The most profound realization you will ever have is this: you are not here to prove anything to anyone. The world does not need more people who are trying to be someone else. It needs you exactly as you are. Your unique thoughts, your voice, your vision, your spirit, all of these things are what make you valuable. When you try to be someone else, you rob the world of what only you can bring. And the world desperately needs what only you have to offer. So, when the pressure to perform, to prove, to fit in creeps in, remember this: you are enough. You have always been enough. The world doesn't need another imitation, another version of someone else. It needs you to show up as your truest self. It needs you to stop proving yourself and simply be who you were born to be. As you start living from this place of authentic power, you will start to see the world shift around you. The people who were once critical or dismissive of you will begin to fall away, not because you have done anything to push them away, but because you no longer need their approval. And in their place, the right people will start to show up. The ones who see you for who you truly are, who value you for your uniqueness, who will not ask you to be anything other than yourself. And for the first time in your life, you will feel a peace that runs deeper than anything you've ever known. A peace that comes from knowing that you are no longer bound by the opinions or expectations of others. A peace that comes from realizing that you no longer need to prove anything because you already know your worth. You have already claimed it. There is power in authenticity. There is power in choosing to be yourself, unapologetically. And the moment you stop trying to prove your worth to others, you unlock that power. You free yourself from the chains of comparison, approval, and the need to be liked. And in that freedom, you will find a strength that cannot be shaken, a clarity that will guide you through any storm, and a peace that will radiate from you in ways you never thought possible. You don't need to prove yourself. You need to be yourself. And in that being, you will find everything you've been searching for. You will find the freedom, the peace, and the power to live the life that was always meant for you. And once you do, nothing and no one can ever take that away from you. That is the power of being yourself. It is the most powerful force in the world. It is the force that will change your life. And once you step into it, you will never look back. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you step into the truth that you are already whole. The beauty of this is that you no longer need to search for external sources to validate your existence. No more chasing the fleeting highs of praise or approval. No more running in circles trying to fit yourself into molds that were never made for you. You are enough just as you are. This realization comes with a shift from external validation to internal assurance. You stop measuring your life by the things that the world tells you matter. You stop measuring your worth by the promotions, the relationships, the followers, the accolades. Instead, you measure your worth by how you feel when you wake up in the morning, knowing that you are aligned with your truth. You measure your worth by the quiet confidence that radiates from within, by the sense of peace that floods your soul when you let go of the need to prove anything to anyone. The moment you choose to embrace who you are, with all your imperfections, your quirks, your unique perspective, you start to live with intention. The fear of judgment, of rejection, of failure begins to dissolve because you understand that they are just temporary obstacles on the path to self-realization. You no longer fear what the world thinks of you. Instead, you embrace the beauty of walking your own path, regardless of who follows or who turns away. This kind of living is not about ignoring the challenges or pretending that everything is always easy. It is about having the courage to show up as yourself, even in the face of adversity. It is about accepting that there will be days when the world pushes back, when doubts creep in, when you feel the weight of the world's expectations pulling at your soul. But through all of that, you hold steady. You remain rooted in the knowing that your worth is not dependent on the opinions of others. You no longer need to perform. You no longer need to prove yourself. You simply need to be yourself. Being yourself is radical. In a world that thrives on comparison, where everyone is trying to outdo each other, being yourself is a revolutionary act. You are no longer playing the game of trying to be more, to be better than someone else, or to fit into a mold that was never made for you. You are playing your own game, the game of authenticity, of self-expression, of creating a life that feels right for you. And when you do that, you open up space for others to do the same. In truth, the moment you start living for yourself, you begin to attract people who are on the same journey. You surround yourself with those who support you in your authenticity, those who will encourage you to keep going when you doubt yourself, and those who will celebrate your uniqueness. The energy you radiate when you stop trying to be someone else becomes magnetic, pulling in the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences into your life. You will begin to see that life is not about fitting in. It is about standing out in your own unique way. Your purpose is not to please everyone around you, but to honor yourself. And when you live this way, something miraculous happens. You stop seeking approval and start attracting it. The people who are meant to be in your life will recognize you for who you truly are, not for who you've pretended to be. And when they see you standing in your own power, it will remind them of their own potential. It will give them the courage to be themselves too. As you continue on this journey, you will begin to realize that everything you thought you had to prove to the world was nothing more than a distraction. It was a distraction from the truth of who you are. And as you peel away those layers, as you shed the weight of other people's expectations, you will find that you are standing in the fullness of your own power. You will feel unstoppable, not because you are better than anyone else, but because you are finally aligned with your true self. Living authentically isn't about living without fear. It's about choosing to move forward in spite of fear. It's about recognizing that fear is part of the human experience, but it doesn't have to control your life. Fear can be present, but it doesn't have to hold you back. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you stop living in fear. You start living from a place of self-acceptance, knowing that even if you fail or face rejection, your worth is still intact. Failure becomes an opportunity for growth, not a reflection of your inadequacy. The key is this. When you embrace who you are, you open the door to endless possibilities. The possibilities of living a life that is fully aligned with your purpose, the possibilities of creating something meaningful, the possibilities of connecting with others who truly see you and appreciate you for who you are. The moment you stop seeking approval, you unlock the freedom to pursue what truly matters to you without hesitation, without doubt. But this journey of authenticity requires commitment. It requires the discipline to say no when you need to walk away from situations that no longer serve you, and to let go of the people who try to dim your light. It requires the strength to stay true to yourself, even when the world tries to pressure you into becoming something you're not. But the more you commit to being authentic, the more it becomes second nature. The more you step into your truth, the easier it becomes to stand firm in your worth. There will be moments of discomfort. There will be times when you question if you're doing the right thing. But in those moments, remind yourself, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your worth is already established. Your journey is already unfolding. And as long as you stay true to yourself, you will find everything you need along the way. In the end, the greatest gift you can give yourself is the gift of living as your authentic self. You don't need to prove yourself to the world, because the world is waiting for you to show up as you truly are. And when you do, you will discover a power within you that is immeasurable. A power that will propel you forward, a power that will inspire others, and a power that will allow you to create a life that feels true to your soul. So, ask yourself today, what would it look like if I stopped trying to prove myself? What would it look like if I just allowed myself to be exactly who I am? The answer is freedom. True, unshakable freedom. And with that freedom, everything is possible. So remember this. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. All you need to do is live as your true self, without fear, without seeking permission, and without changing yourself to meet the world's expectations. When you stop trying to prove your worth, you open the door to a life of true freedom, a life where you no longer fear rejection, where the judgment of others no longer matters, and where you simply exist as you are. We often believe that we must change to be accepted, but the truth is, when you are truly yourself, you no longer need acceptance from others. Everything you need will come to you when you allow your inner light to shine. You no longer need to rush to prove your worth to anyone, because you are the only one who can determine your value. The beauty of being yourself is in the strength that cannot be shaken. When you live with confidence, when you stand firm in your truth, you don't just change your own life, you inspire others to do the same. And over time, you will realize that you don't need to prove anything, you just need to live in the value you already possess. At some point, you recognize that when you stop trying to prove yourself, you unlock an immense freedom, a peace that comes from simply being who you are. That is the powerful freedom that no one can take from you. And in that moment, you will understand that you have become the person you've always been searching for.